Woodpeckers are found nearly everywhere. In North America, there are 22 species of woodpecker, with some of the most fascinating being Some birds in the woodpecker family are not commonly called woodpeckers, but rather known as sapsuckers and flickers, to name a few. Sapsuckers closely resemble traditional woodpeckers, but are generally smaller and have straighter beaks. Unlike other woodpeckers that primarily forage for insects, sapsuckers drill small, orderly holes in tree bark to feed on sap. This feeding habit can be particularly harmful to trees, as excessive drilling may weaken them and make them more vulnerable to disease and pests. Flickers, on the other hand, are much larger, and they perch horizontally across tree branches compared to your average woodpecker. Woodpeckers can peck up to 20 times per second, or a total of 8,000 to 12,000 pecks per day. Strong, dense neck muscles allow woodpeckers to repeatedly drill, while extra muscles in the skull act as a protective helmet, keeping the brain from getting constantly concussed when a woodpecker is drumming. Many woodpeckers have barbed tongues that allow them to extract food from trees and holes. To reach deep into crevices, a woodpecker's tongue can be up to a third of its total body length and up to 11 centimeters long. So long that when it's retracted, it coils around the back of the bird's skull. However, this trait is not related to protecting the brain from injury. As omnivores, woodpeckers eat a mix of foods. They target insects, spiders, seeds, nuts, and acorns, as well as fruit and sap, and will even sip nectar from a hummingbird feeder on occasion. Several woodpecker species store food, with the most well-known being acorn woodpeckers. These birds live in large groups all year and can harvest and hide huge quantities of food in the fall to feed on in winter and spring. One cache in an Arizona water tank held 480 pounds of acorns. Woodpeckers are known to have excellent hearing. They listen for sounds of insects crawling and chewing in the wood of a tree before using their strong, sharp bills to capture their prey. If they don't hear them, they can surely feel the vibrations that insects create as they move about. Woodpeckers use their bills for two behaviors, drilling and drumming. They use their sharp beaks to drill into trees to find food or to make holes for nesting and roosting in spring and fall. Drumming, on the other hand, is most commonly done in spring to attract a mate or to mark territory by alerting the competition. Woodpeckers drill holes depending on their size. Usually, the bigger the woodpecker, the bigger the hole it makes. The nesting cavities of pileated woodpeckers range from 10 to 24 inches deep, which is twice as deep as those of downy and red-bellied woodpeckers. In North America, the downy is the smallest and most widespread woodpecker, and the largest is the pileated woodpecker. Ivory-billed woodpeckers are bigger, but are generally considered to be extinct. Woodpeckers are primarily cavity nesters that excavate their own nest spots in dead or dying trees. Abandoned woodpecker cavities serve as homes or roosts for a variety of birds, including small owls, swifts, bluebirds, swallows, wrens, wood ducks, and even some small mammals. Woodpeckers have adapted to climbing trees. Stiff tail feathers act as a brace, forming a tripod with the bird's feet to stabilize a woodpecker as it hops up a tree and chisels into the bark. With 4 toes, the first and fourth facing backward, the second and third facing forward, woodpeckers can navigate up and around tree trunks. The scientific name for this toe arrangement is zygodactysm. However, 2 types of woodpeckers, the American three-toed and the black-backed woodpecker, have 3 toes instead of 4 on each foot. With only 3 toes, these species may be able to lean further away from the tree and thereby hit the tree harder than other woodpeckers. Not all woodpeckers have red on their heads, but a number of them do. The best example of this is the red-headed woodpecker. However, red-bellied woodpeckers and pileated woodpeckers also have red on their heads, as do the male downy and hairy woodpeckers, to name a few. Sadly, it isn't fully understood why so many woodpeckers exhibit red markings on their heads. It is understood, however, that a lot of these species face similar environments and pressures, and are therefore likely to evolve similar strategies and even feather patterns. Some studies have shown that although for some species the red head feature is sexually dimorphic and therefore differentiates males from females, The brightness of the red cap may indicate body condition.